Hi everybody, and welcome to the next Tech Talk. I'm going to speak about several things just to answer some questions that I've had and to give some more insight into some of the ways that I've been building Mistress, but also how I'm building things going ahead. So I'm going to be talking about four things. The first of which is the fasteners and how I'm fixing the timberwork to the hull itself. The second thing I'll be talking about is the cleats that are mainly fixed to the hull floors, but also to the hull itself. The third thing I'll be talking about is the mouse holes, and I'll explain that later. And the fourth thing that I'll be talking about are the portholes and how I arrived at the decision to go the way I did with regards to the portholes. So as I said, I'll be talking about fasteners, the cleats, mouse holes, and the portholes. So let's get into it. Okay, on to the fasteners. So what I'm doing is using galvanized fasteners. Hopefully that's in focus. And as you'll note, they are hot dipped galvanized bolts. My reasoning for that is that Mistress is made of mild steel, and these galvanized bolts are also made of mild steel. They're hot dipped galvanized with zinc, and that is a very, very durable coating to give to mild steel, particularly in the marine environment with the salty air and the dampness of the salty air. So that's the type of fastening that I'll be using throughout. Galvanized bolts, hot dipped galvanized, in order to fasten all of the fit out to the hull, the cleats and the framing. And as I've done in the build with Mistress when I was doing the steelwork, I actually pre-drilled to the best of my abilities all of the holes that I feel are going to be necessary to fit things to the hull. Here's an example. The good thing is, having pre-drilled, everything has been painted properly with several coats of the high build epoxy and then top coated with the polyurethane. And here you can see there's room to move for that bolt for the fitting, so that will hopefully make things a little quicker for the fit out ahead. The next subject, as mentioned, was mouse holes. So here you can see this stiffener has been put in place, joining here to this frame. Wherever there has been a join of steel onto the hull where water might collect, holes have been cut in the steel before fixing, so that in the event that any water does come inboard from any source, it has a place to drain out and then go down and continue on its way into the bilge. You can see these mouse holes in the hull floors here, and as I say, wherever there are places where water might collect, holes have been cut so that water can pass from one place to the next and go on its merry way to the bilge where it could be pumped out. And so that applies with every single hull floor and bit of frame. Here is the forward end of the engine bed, and as you can see on the centre line also, which is what that mouse hole is from the engine bay, there are mouse holes. It's absolutely important to have mouse holes wherever water could be stopped from running to the bilge. More examples here going forward. That's on the centre line of the hull floors. So as you can see, there are mouse holes wherever water could collect. Also, to make mention of the fact that even though I have placed insulation over stiffeners and stringers, when they were put in place, they also, every single one, had a mouse hole. So that was the method of construction, but as has been shown, the insulation's covering up everything there, so water should not collect. It should be displaced by the foam. That should not cause a problem ahead. So the next subject are the cleats, and as you can see here, right throughout the hull floors in particular, there are these cleats that have been welded to the hull floors, and this has obviously been specifically where the design that I've come up with for the fit out is going to be picking up that plywood and other timber in order to build the fit out. But as mentioned, it's not only the hull floors. I've actually placed cleats onto the hull sides, and again, that's taking into consideration the future fit out. Here's more of those cleats on the port side, and those lower ones are actually going to be housing the aft cabin bed base. That will fit to those lower cleats. Okay, on to the portholes. Now this is actually quite a big subject because, as probably people can imagine, there's a lot of different choices, as in manufactured products that you can buy in different marine stores online. There's some top and well-regarded brands, and then there's what I did, which is something not so common. So what I did was I wanted a particular style of porthole that I couldn't find, and so I made my own. First of all, I made a pattern, and that is the full scale proper dimension for the finished product. I hand made that. Then I went to a local foundry, and obviously in discussion with them, I ended up getting the port frames cast in bronze. So they're quite heavy. After that, as you can see, I've had them chrome plated. I've also fitted hinges to some, because some of the portholes will be opening, others, like this one, will be fixed, and so they don't have the hinges. In addition to the frame itself, obviously it needs the window portion, and so what I've used is 10mm polycarbonate. It's very, very strong. You could actually put a sledgehammer on that and it wouldn't break. To fit that, as can be seen, there's the Fixtech 15 adhesive sealer that's holding the polycarbonate window in. I also, in the manufacturing stage of the windows themselves, I had a trench cut all around. That's going to coincide with where these ports actually rest against the framing that makes the port apertures. Again, as you can see, I've also fitted a foam seal. So my hope is that with the attention to this sort of detail, I'm hoping that I'll end up with strong, attractive and effective portholes in a style that I like. Once again, there's many, many different choices in marine stores or online, but I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for, so therefore I elected to make my own. If you have any comments or any questions, please feel free to put them below, make a comment, sing out a question if you have any, and I will be sure to get back to you. Look forward to hearing from you, and that's all there is for this week's Tech Talk. I hope you enjoyed it, and all the best.